So, yeah, just to try to swim through this story really quickly. So there Franklin Jones is, and he's a disciple of this Hindu yogi who is a Shakti Kundalini magician, great devotee of the goddess in the Indian format, Indian yoga format. And Franklin is weeding the garden one day, and he suddenly feels his presence, and he turns around, and there's the Virgin Mary. Purely visible like one of these bodies, but sheerly energetic. He said his first impulse was to laugh because he was way past Christianity. And he'd never been in a virgin worship kind of mode anyway. But her presence overwhelmed him. And so she started telling him what to do, Get a rosary, start doing my chant, don't do the Hindu stuff. I mean, in her style of commanding. And so in a vision, he met with Muktananda's own guru, Bhagavan Nityananda, and told him what had happened. And this is the piece that I wanted to share today. And he didn't know what Nityananda would say. Nityananda was no longer alive, but he visited him several times in vision. And Nityananda heard the story, and he says, well, the time comes in the life of a practitioner when the goddess calls him into her own court, and he transcends the human guru. And then, from then on, no one has any position in his process except her. Now, the other interesting piece here is that what happened with Adida was that he then, sure enough, followed the Shakti, the goddess, the Virgin, and she changed her forms. But in his awakening process, before the awakening came in, that was the precursor to our kind of embodied consciousness, he went through this strange transition where he ceased to be her devotee and found her calling him to partner her in marriage, in sacred sexual embrace. And so he became the husband to the Shakti. And in order for me to even begin to have the guts to teach, that had to have happened in my life as well. That's what took place in my awakening process. I figured it out later. I was a little slow on the uptake. And in general, in relation to the Big Shi, I'm better with my local one, I think. With the Big Shi, I'm a little klutzy and a little slow, and I often don't figure things out till later, and it's sort of a funny dance. Here's the deal. Exactly what Stephen and Van are saying. My sense of her movement in this time, if you can speak in that kind of tantric code, is that she's done with the fiefdoms.
Yeah.
All that's past. It's so past that we can't even let go of the artifacts fast enough in some ways. Where it's an evolutionary steamroller almost. And it's all about each one embodying God, Goddess, and us doing that mutually together. And this is the fulfillment of the great vision of the ancients who could only have done it that way. This is, sure enough, Jesus saying, you'll all become sons and daughters of God and do far greater things than I. There's Jung at the end of his life, Carl Jung, saying, the meaning of human history is not that man is seeking God, but that God is seeking man, that the divine is humanizing. So, I had to say that.
Yeah, thank you.
Plus, Linda and I have felt a great call coming from several voices and places, including our own hearts, to produce a book together. And the working title of it, and it's up for more work, but the working title is The Evolutionary Embodiment of God: How a Vibrant New Path with Heart is Democratizing Enlightenment, and what that can mean for you. And we're going to invite many people to have contributions to this book along with us. And so this will be an adventure of our next coming months, and maybe the language of the title and subtitle will change, probably so, but that gives you a feeling for the direction anyway. So, Stephen, by the way, is my writing buddy also. Okay, time's cooking on here. Ladies, is there room? You want to come on in?